Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to go through some real trades that I've taken over the last few days using LuxAlgo. Hopefully, this will be helpful for you guys to actually see some real trades, and I'm going to explain all of them, at least for the last day or so, just to make sure that you guys can see my thought processes. I'm going to go through my settings. Hopefully, that'll be helpful for some guys as well that are using it, and also to give you guys that haven't bought it yet a good idea what you can expect in terms of results and the customizability of LuxAlgo. I'll leave a link in the description to one of my main reviews. It's this one, LuxAlgo review from a real user. I have several reviews out there as I start to expand the different areas that LuxAlgo has. It has a lot of different parts to it. And so I want to try and compartmentalize that. If you want to buy a LuxAlgo and you haven't yet, I highly recommend you go to the article in the description below and use the coupon code STA30, so that right here, right at the end here. And if you go to my referral link right here, it'll open up LuxAlgo and you can get 30% off if you use that STA coupon code, which makes it an absolute bargain. It's about $100 for 3 months, which is amazing. I'll show you why, because some of my results have been pretty great, making that cost for the program really low, insignificant really. So I've been really happy, and I think you guys will be as well. So yeah, let's get started. I want to show you some of the results. I've been making a spreadsheet, basically trading most days since Friday. So here's the spreadsheet. Friday was May 12th up here. And so if you look at these rows here, you can see I did 3 trades on Friday. And then the weekends, this is Monday, did another 4 trades. And then Tuesday, did too many trades. I did 2, 4, 6 trades. The last 2 were forced, and you can see they were small losing trades. So I want to talk about those in particular. So keep watching till the end. I'll talk about how I managed these trades, what made me kind of pull the trigger, but also kind of cut the losses quickly as well, which is just as well. So overall, with LuxAlgo, I've taken 13 trades so far that I've recorded. I've taken a lot more, and they've all worked out really well. But I started recording them just on Friday for you guys to see. They're all day trades. They're all on SPY, which is just my style at the moment. They're all 0 DTE or 1 DTE, depending on what time of day it is and how feisty I'm feeling with the particular trades. Typically looking at profits in the range of 10 or 15% to up to about 40% on some of the better trades. I'm going to talk about scaling out of the profitable trades and also how I've been cutting these trades and also the exact indicators I'm using for the LuxAlgo. So hopefully this video will be really helpful. I think it's going to be a little bit longer than most videos. I want to try and keep it as concise as possible though, because there's nothing worse than somebody running on and on and on about every single trade. So what my plan here is to go through just yesterday's trades. So there's a few of them, but again, they included 2 losing trades, which I want to make sure that you guys see what I did. So hopefully I'll remember. So I got this log. So let's take a look at what the LuxAlgo program was showing yesterday. So I've loaded up here. On the left is the start of the day, so 8:30 is around here. And this is SPY 1 minute, and you can see this is the end of the day right here as well. So this is the day. So the first thing to notice here is if you ignore all the gunk, which is all my different indicators, and I've talked about what I use on here over multiple videos. I'll briefly mention it in a minute so you guys know. But one thing that made yesterday so hard to trade was look how flat this is. So this was not a trending day. It was a sideways day. And most of these types of indicators tend to work better in trending days. And so I think that's why it was a little bit trickier. Nevertheless, made some good money yesterday, so I want to talk through it anyway. So you can see choppy ranging day. And in fact, these 2 reversal bands, so the red and the green are reversal bands, which you can add in. You can see it stayed between them the whole day, pretty much flat. So this is not a good day. It's not a good example day, but I'm going to use it because I think it's important not to sugarcoat stuff too much, right? You want to show the best days, show the worst days. This was a particularly bad day for LuxAlgo. And so the only things I'm using on the chart here, if we click on the settings, all I'm using is sensitivity at 12, which I found to be pretty useful. It changes a bit. Sometimes you mess with it a little bit, try and refine it. I'm using the smart trail, which is these red lines here and these blue ones here. So red is bearish, blue is bullish. They kind of act like dynamic support for the blue and dynamic resistance for the red. So pretty simple. The reversal zones I just mentioned, which are these wider bands, are here. This would indicate a reversal to the downside. These would indicate a reversal to the upside. Then we just have the simple overlay buy and sell signals on here. So really simple settings. Lux has a ton of other settings that you can play with and optimize. That's all I'm using, and I found it to be very effective. Okay, so let's start on the first trade of the day. I recorded a lot of these in my private Discord group, and so hopefully that'll help me kind of remember what I did here. So just kind of trying to zoom in on this first trade early in the day. So right here. So let's look into the Discord channel. So this was yesterday, super risky. We often get market reversal right now. I just bought the 16th May, which is 0 DTA, SPY puts at 1.38. And so you can see the signal here. It's in the reversal zone. Let's go back to the Lux here. So this is the Lux, this is the Discord. So right here, so try and zoom in a little bit more. So I'm going to try and talk through some of my thought process here for people that have LuxAlgo and are maybe struggling with it. So close at the start of the day, we had this down signal. We had a bit of a pullback. Normally, you don't want to be buying short in amongst this reversal zone because generally it's going to signify a strong reversal, right? Not good. The counter here, though, is we were below the smart trail, which is always a good sign. When you're going to go short, you want to be below the smart trail. And so you can see the dilemma that I had here. So given that, I decided that just a bit of a push down would be probably the best I could do in this market. And so that's what I did. So if we can just get a little push down to profit target, I'll be more happy. So they do put a profit target on here. It was pretty close to the profit target. The thing with LuxAlgo is it doesn't show you each profit target with each signal. It'll only show you the most current signal's profit target, which you can switch on. So in this case, it did dip down to the profit target. Let's see what it was at. Maybe I took a, oh yeah, you can see it on the screenshot right here. So you can see the profit target was 411.55. So entering here, it wasn't a smart trade. Entering here and then trying to get out on the profit target was kind of the idea. So not an optimal trade, pretty risky, especially given the fact that often first 15 minutes or so you can see a big reversal. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. So thankfully, I took the move pretty quickly. And I said it was a stupid trade, but I still made some money. Here's a screenshot. Made $460 on that 413 put, which is what you see in the spreadsheet right here. Right here. So this was the first trade of the day for 13 puts. So that wasn't an ideal trade. And this was kind of the story of my trading day. Nothing really was perfect. It was all kind of just like a little bit hectic. So it was a bad day, to be honest. But I want to show you what I consider to be a bad day so that you don't think I'm just cherry picking everything. So there was a profit target here, took it out here, and of course, around about that 9:45 Eastern time, we did see this massive rally to the upside. So I'm really glad I was disciplined and took this little move for what it was. And I think that's part of the trick here. I think trying to follow LuxAlgo blindly can sometimes get you into problems. So making your own decisions, coming up with your own strategies often helps a lot. So that was trade number one. Let's go through a couple of the other trades. I need to use the Discord here where I documented everything in real time, which is definitely a good thing when you're doing these reviews a day or two later. So it did come back down, like you said, like it could have probably kept holding, and it did actually work out. The trade did run quite well. It ran all the way down here and then all the way down here. And you can actually see this little cross here. So you're expected, if you were following this exactly, to hold this whole thing all the way down to here. So technically it was a big winning trade, but I played it a little bit more conservatively and escaped this huge move up, which would mean pretty terrifying because I tend to play these with quite decent sized position sizes. I mean, I'm using $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 per position size, which may or may not affect the way that I take these trades. I tend to take profits a bit quickly and cut losses pretty quickly as well. Anyway, very quickly after that, I entered calls. Let's just go over to LuxAlgo again here. So the calls that I took would probably be these ones. Let me just double check. So if we look in the Discord, you'll be able to see what I did. So yeah, very quickly I said bullish signal fired, and when I went and see the holds, and we get a smart trail flip to bullish. So here we go. So it was yesterday at 9:19 a.m. I decided to enter here. So this was definitely risky for me. I've been playing with these oscillators as well, and I could tell this was starting to go green and we were likely to get a signal to the upside. So given that we were bouncing off this reversal zone and the oscillator was changing, and then it started to flash to a buy side. If we look here, try and show this a little bit. So right here. So I started to look for an entry here based on the fact that we had this real pullback to here. We were starting to get the oscillator change. Let me open up the oscillator here. So the oscillator was starting to go you could tell it was losing its downwards momentum. And boom, we got this green upward signal. So I actually entered here right before the bullish signal. So I feel like I timed up pretty well. I kind of had a feel for the combination of these signals that we were going to get a bounce off of this level. And so this was a beautiful trade all the way up to the smart trail, which is generally where you want to take profits, right? That's always a good place. It's trending resistance. And that move is pretty significant, which led to some nice profits. Now, again, it was kind of a flat day, so you took it here, no smart trail change, just like small bounce, exit at 172. So, and I even commented as I go here, I'm forcing stuff today, I've got to stop doing it. And that's because it was a ranging day. And so, like, it was a difficult day. So, if you had problems yesterday with LuxAlgo, I don't blame you. So, that was another good winning trade. Just kind of looking through, see what else we got here. So, I scale out. So, that's one thing I want to talk about here. So one thing I do is I scale out at 10%. So if I get into one of these trades, I scale out for 10%, and then I have a rule where I'll stop out with the rest break even. And I actually got that from one of the other guys, Goldman, from Sidekick Traders Discord, the Discord that I founded back in 2020. And so 10% is a good win for me, especially if I'm going in fairly big. So if I can get 10% with, say, half my position, then the other half can ride, and it can scale out a bit more at 20%, maybe a bit more at 30%. And if not, if everything goes pear shaped, I can always take the break even stop loss, so I end up making a small profit, but nothing too scary. So you'll see often I'll talk about scaling out, which is also a key. You don't just want to blindly follow the signals, right? You don't just want to be like buy, sell, buy, sell. You can, but I think a better way is to manage the trade in parts, which is usually pretty good. Just trying to go through the trades here. So let's see, I got SPY puts loaded, ready if we get a down signal. It's flashing, the oscillator's going red. So around, let's just go through this one. Kind of losing the timestamp. 9:33-ish, just after that, we got a down signal. 9:33, here we go. Yeah, so this was the next down signal. So this was a difficult one. This one flashed on here, and it really wasn't a great trade. Let's see what happened. Back to Discord. So I did the 0 DTEs, 115, oscillator's red, went downtrend. Signal is crossing right here. And then let's see what happened with commentary. So yeah, as soon as yeah, I wasn't happy. I wrote the word foul. Hadn't quite stopped at Lux, but I'm not risking it. So you can see, like, I knew this wasn't going anywhere. It went kind of flat, like here. As soon as I scaled out on this little drop. As soon as it started to reverse, I got out. So it just wasn't a good trade. So you can see we really weren't getting great moves. And so that was one of the trades that I showed you on the spreadsheet right here. This one, I think, 6.8%. Is that right? Let's see. Or this one, I don't know. Anyway, I'm losing track. I'm trying to see which was the best one. I think these two later on in the day, so I'll skip to those. I hope you guys are starting to get some of the idea here, though, of like how I manage these trades. This is a good signal. I'm not sure if I got in it. Let's have a look. 10.13. Sorry, my memory is really bad. That's why I have to keep all these records. So just having a look here. So yesterday at 12.26, jumped in SPY puts. Let's see what happened at 12.26. All the way over here. Yeah, so one thing I also do, so this is 12.26 here. So one thing I also do is if I like a trade, I'll jump in even if it's like a few candles later after the signal, as long as we're roughly the same price. And then I wrote this thing down to here and made some decent money on it, which is good. So let's see what else. Let's look at like I've shown you tons of winning trades over the last few videos, and you can see more in the articles where you can get the discount on LuxAlgo. Let's look at the chop that happens a bit, and I think it puts people off. There was definitely some classic LuxAlgo chop for these last two trades. So let's just fast forward to those here, I think. Yeah. So this is the end of the day. You can see the last signal was amazing. Of course, I set that one out. That would have been a really nice short right there. This is what gets people with LuxAlgo, and I see it in the comments on my YouTube videos, and people say, hey, what about this signal, this one, what about this one? These are all losing sort of trades or very low. Sure, you get caught up in the chop here, but look, the winning signals are large. These are little chop signals. As long as you're careful, these little chop signals don't do anything to you. And you can see that from two of them that I took in the actual spreadsheet. So you can see these ones I did put and calls, made minus 14% and minus 5%. Very small compared to the wins, right? And so I also sized down because at this point of the day I'd realized that we're getting towards the end of the day, which is never great for, especially if you're playing 0DTE, right? And I knew that the day had been so like basically flat that nothing was really working that well. Now, in this case, you could switch to the contrarian signals, but I don't have enough practice or experience with the strategy with that yet. And so for me, when I started to play this chop, I was very careful to use the key lines here as support and resistance. So for example, on this one, go short here, and if it doesn't really break, then you just get out. And you can see that's a small loss, right? Same with this one, you go short here, you get a candle which is bouncing. This is actually a good example. This one of those losing trades was this one. So try and get in here. Oops, it's way too far in. Zoom out. All I see is oscillator now. It's not good. Let me see if I can reset this. It's weird. All I'm seeing is like the oscillator. Can't even get it back. Let's reload trading view, see if it comes up. If it just comes up an oscillator, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So far it is just an oscillator. Let's see if we get the overlay. So we come down here, just hit this button. There we go. Alright, so let's figure out where on earth we are. This is today's chart, which is a lot nicer, by the way. Of course, I missed it with some of these trends. So it's amazing, amazing day compared to yesterday. Here we go. So back to yesterday's chop fest. So just want to go through that, get rid of the oscillator a little bit. So one way I was able to protect with the losses, right? So this is really, I think it's important because with all trading, you've got to keep your losses smaller and do the risk management part of things. So here's a criticism. People will say, oh, here's a typical Lux fail, right? You go short here, You have a big green candle and you lose. Then you do the next one, you go short here, you have big green candle and you lose. So one of the key things here though is to look at this trending trail, right? This blue cloud. And so if you're failing to break that on a short, you got to make that decision quickly whether you think this is going to bounce or if it's going to break. So if it does a couple of candles where it kind of holds, you probably don't want to wait for a green exit arrow way up here. If it starts to show strength like in this area, you probably want to exit, right? And that's what I was doing to try and keep these losses small, and it did work. So I did manage to keep the losses small. I also was trading with a smaller position size towards the end of the day, which helps as well. Keep those losses small. So to give you like an overview, LuxAlgo in these settings work really well. I think it's something that as long as it's trending, then it's going to be really good. You want to size down and be much, much more disciplined when you have a sideways day like yesterday. I was looking at today's, I was busy all today, but this is Wednesday, so this is start Wednesday. Look at some of these signals today. Look at this bullish signal all the way up here and all the way up here. Just much nicer trend today. Nice bullish trend. So it's much nicer. So you can definitely use LuxAlgo in sideways stuff, even with the non-contrarian signals. It's just harder. It was hard work yesterday, but it paid off. It made decent money. I think it's something that I'm going to continue to do. Probably size down a little bit. I think I've been telling people that I've been probably using a bit too big positions. I think I'll trade better if I size down a little bit. I'm going to keep updating this list so you can sort of get a better feel for what I'm doing with it, whether it's working, and gives a bit more data than just 13 trades, and go from there. So, like I said, a lot of fun. I'm enjoying doing this. This is a lot of fun, especially if you have a bunch of friends doing it with you, which is good. So we do have that inside Kick Traders. I'll leave a link for a 3-day trial if you want to come and join us in there. We talk about this a lot because it's a lot of fun. If you do want to buy it, again, you want to come to one of these articles, I'll also leave a link in the description where you can get the 30% off LuxAlgo using my coupon code STA30 and get a small commission if you do this. And you can go to my link right here as well. I don't think you'll regret this. I think with some work, some effort, some practice, some messing with the settings and testing things, I think you'll find that this is a pretty extraordinary system. One of the best value systems that I've come across probably ever. So I'm really excited about it. I can give you another example really quick, which was the Bullseye trade by Jeff Bishop. So if you guys follow the channel, you've probably seen me talk about that a lot too. If you go to the Nugget, which is what the Bullseye trade was this week, LuxAlgo would have helped kind of keep you out of trouble on Nugget. So I'm going to go to the daily or the 4 hour or something on Nugget. So Jeff Bishop recommended this on Monday. Try and zoom out here. And so on Monday, though, there was a bearish confirmation. Just let me kind of get my bearings here. So I'm just trying to let's get rid of this. Let's bring this guy down. Try and find Monday. So right here, Monday. So I'm just going to zoom in on here. So this is a daily chart, and it's one of the charts that Jeff uses. He doesn't use LuxAlgo, but he uses a daily chart for his things. So if you look here on Thursday last week, we had a bearish signal. And generally, these have been working out pretty well on Nugget. So I'm always a bit skeptical of entering something where we're in a bearish signal. So I've held off. And this is the last candle here, closed around $42, which is actually a stop now. The interesting thing here, though, for me, is we are potentially going to bounce off one of my favorite smart trails here. We did it here. We've done it in the past. We are still right at Jeff's stop loss. So tomorrow, if I start to see this curl back up and even get a signal that, to buy side, I might enter the bullseye trades based on this. And because the risk reward is so good, right? We're at the stop loss. not going to lose much as long as I follow the stop loss. Interesting thing is here is the 4 hour, so this was also similar. So you can see we've had a bearish trend for the last, several candles, and then today you can see that we are starting to again hit a reversal zone this time. So it's going to be really interesting on this particular ticker whether I can use the LuxAlgo to time a really nice bounce or not. So I'll keep you guys informed. I do a weekly bullseye trades video summary. So if I do enter this based on something like a buy signal coming in tomorrow, which will be basically buying at the stop zone on Jeff Bishop's nugget trade, this will be something that you could also apply to your own trading with other alert services as well. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. Don't know what's going to happen, but it's worth checking out. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. I know it's been a bit of more of a long-winded video. If you have more questions, just leave some comments and I'll try and get back to you. All right, guys, have a good day.